The garage door groaned shut, sealing me in with the stench of motor oil and the faint buzz of a dying fluorescent bulb. My hands shook as I clutched the crumpled note I'd found tucked inside Sarah's jacket pocket. Its words seared into my mind. Meet me at the usual place. Midnight. Don't tell him. The paper felt like a blade, slicing through 12 years of marriage with a single, jagged cut. I stood there, surrounded by my half-built shelves and scattered tools. The better bedroom I'd been banished to for my so-called disorganization. But this wasn't about clutter. This was betrayal, raw and pulsing, staring me in the face. I'd moved out here 3 weeks ago, after Sarah declared our bedroom a sanctuary of order. I was too chaotic to inhabit. I'd laughed it off then, hauling my clothes and a mattress to the garage, thinking it was just her latest obsession with control. She'd always been meticulous. Folded towels labeled spice jars, a calendar planned to the hour. I'd loved that about her once, the way her precision balanced my scattershot energy. But now as I reread the note, her fastidiousness felt like a mask. Who was she meeting? And why at midnight? The garage was cold, the concrete floor leaching heat from my bare feet. I sank onto the mattress, its springs creaking under my weight, and tried to piece together the last few months. There'd been signs, small, slippery things I'd brushed off. Her late nights at the office, claiming deadlines for a promotion. The way her phone was always face down now, its screen lighting up with texts she'd dismiss as work stuff. The perfume she'd started wearing, sharp and unfamiliar, when she'd always preferred lavender. I told myself it was nothing, that I was paranoid, that love meant trust. But trust was a house of cards, and this note was a gust tearing it down. I wanted to storm inside, shove the note in her face, demand answers. But something stopped me, fear, maybe, or the desperate hope I was wrong. I imagined her hazel eyes widening, her voice soft and reasonable as she explained it away. A work meeting. A friend in crisis. Anything but what my gut screamed. Instead, I paced the garage, the bulb flickering like my thoughts. The shelves I'd been building loomed half-finished, a monument to my exile. I'd poured hours into them, thinking I was proving something to her, making a space she'd approve of. Now they felt like a fool's errand. The house was quiet when I slipped inside, the clock ticking toward 11 p.m. Sarah was in the shower, the hiss of water muffled behind the bathroom door. Her jacket hung on the kitchen chair, innocent as ever, but I couldn't unsee the note. I checked her phone, left carelessly on the counter. A rare lapse in her vigilance. The lock screen glowed. No password. My heart pounded as I scrolled through her messages. Most were mundane: work, her sister, a group chat about book club. But then, a contact labeled M. Can't wait to see you. Same spot. Be careful. My stomach twisted. I clicked further, but the thread was sparse, as if she'd deleted most of it. Careful. That word burned. I heard the shower stop and set the phone down, my pulse racing. Sarah emerged, wrapped in a towel, her wet hair clinging to her shoulders. You're up late, she said, her voice light but her eyes darting to the phone. Did she know I'd looked? I forced a smile, my throat tight. Couldn't sleep. Thinking about the garage. She nodded, brushing past me to the bedroom. It's coming along, right? I'll check it out tomorrow. Her tone was warm, but it felt rehearsed, like a line from a script she'd practiced. I didn't follow her. Instead, I waited, listening as she dressed, the rustle of fabric unnaturally loud in the silent house. At 11:45 she called out, I'm running to the store, need anything? My heart sank. The store was her alibi, as flimsy as the note in my pocket. I mumbled, no, and heard the front door click shut. I grabbed my keys and followed, keeping my distance as her car wound through the quiet streets. The city was a blur of neon and shadows, the air heavy with the threat of rain. She pulled into a motel parking lot, the kind of place you'd miss if you weren't looking. I parked across the street, my hands gripping the steering wheel. A man waited by the motel's flickering sign, his face half-lit but familiar. Mark, her coworker, the one she'd called just a friend, when I'd met him at her office party. He was all charm then, with a handshake too firm and a smile too wide. Now he looked nervous, glancing over his shoulder as Sarah approached. They didn't touch, but their closeness spoke volumes, a shared secret in the way they stood, heads bent together. I wanted to scream, to run at them, But I was frozen, watching my life unravel through a car window. I drove back to the garage, the note now a crumpled ball in my fist. My mind churned with questions. How long? Why him? Was it my fault? My messiness, my late hours at the shop, my failure to be enough? I thought of our early days, the way Sarah laughed at my bad puns, how we danced in the kitchen to no music. Had that been a lie too? I sank onto the mattress, the tools around me glinting like accusations. I'd built this space to win her back, but she'd already left me behind. Hours later, she returned, slipping into the house as if nothing had happened. I heard her footsteps pause outside the garage door. And for a moment, I thought she'd come in, confess, beg forgiveness. But the door stayed closed. I waited until dawn, the note still in my hand, its ink smudged from my grip. Then I made a choice. Not to confront her, not yet. I'd build the shelves, finish the garage, make it perfect. Not for her, but for me. A place to rebuild myself, piece by piece, until I could face the truth. The next evening, I found another note, slipped under the garage door. I know you know. I'm sorry. My heart stopped. Sarah's handwriting, unmistakable, but no explanation, no plea. Just those words, dangling like a loose thread. I stared at the shelves, nearly complete now, their clean lines mocking the chaos inside me. I could storm in, demand the truth, let the anger spill. Or I could wait, let her come to me. Let the suspense of her guilt unravel her. The bulb flickered again, and in its stutter, I saw her face, guilty, scared, but still hers. I loved her. I hated her. And in that moment, I wasn't sure which would win.